Hi, welcome back to the course that is Fundamentals of Crop Physiology. In the last lecture, we have gone through about transpiration, in which we discussed about definition of transpiration, types of transpiration, and mechanism of opening and closing of stomata, in which three different aspects we have gone through. In the today's lecture, we will discuss about what are the factors affecting transpiration and water use efficiency. And next point is factors influencing water use efficiency. Okay. Okay. So here, factors affecting transpiration and water use efficiency and factors affecting water use efficiency. So in the first slide, what are the factors affecting transpiration, in which, so first of all, atmospheric humidity. Okay, atmospheric humidity means what? First of all, as we know, in the atmosphere, different constituents are there of atmosphere. Okay, in which different gases are there, dust particles are also there, and important constituent is that humidity. Okay, humidity is nothing but the presence of water. Okay, it's nothing but the presence of water. Okay, here it is water means not droplets, that here it is moisture. Okay, the moisture which is present in the atmosphere is atmospheric humidity, and as much as high atmospheric humidity, the atmosphere is concentrated or saturated, and in this saturated atmosphere, the water vapors which are coming out from the open stomata are restricted because of this saturated climate atmospheric conditions. Okay, so the rate of transpiration, or rate of transpiration is decreases because of the humidity, high humidity. Now the next point is that temperature. Okay, now how this temperature is affecting the transpiration? So here, increase in temperature brings about an increase in the rate of transpiration. Okay, as much as the temperature increases, the rate of transpiration is also increases, because as the temperature increases, it decreases the relative humidity. Okay, and because of this decreased humidity, what opening of the stomata is also get widened. Okay, widely it got opened, so that the transpiration is increases. Then third point is wind. Okay, so here this wind is also one of the important factor which affecting the transpiration activity of this stomata. How it affects? So in which, as we know, wind, sometimes it is stagnant in nature, sometimes it is blowing gently, or sometimes this wind velocity is quite higher. Okay, in all these three situations, when the wind is not much violent or there is no much speed, at that time, uh, transpiration rate is normal, it's not get affected. But when the rate of this wind velocity is increases, the rate of transpiration is decreases. Okay, because whenever this wind velocity is higher, at that time it resists the opening of stomata, and also the water vapors which are coming out from the stomata are also got resisted because of this high velocity winds. That's why also rate of transpiration is affecting. Then the next point is there, that is light. Now light increases the rate of transpiration, because whenever light is there at that time, as we discussed in our last lecture, whenever light is there at that time, the photosynthesis will happen in the guard cell, and because of this photosynthesis, the accumulation of organic substances will take place, and because of that also the stomata is got opened, and because of this opening of the stomata, the transpiration will happen, or it will start removing or losing the water. Okay, then available soil water. Now this available soil water is also one of the important factor, because rate of transpiration will decrease if there is a no enough water in the soil. Okay, for the absorption of water, it require much quantity or adequate quantity of the water in the soil, and this water is not there. In that situation, the automatically or directly rate of transpiration or transpiration activity is got affected because of this soil water which is not available in adequate quantity. Then the next point is, that is carbon dioxide. Okay, now this carbon dioxide, when it get increases its concentration in atmosphere, at that time it leads into the closure of the stomata. Okay, and when the stomata is got closed, as we know, it affects the loss of water. Okay, the plant will stop losing water because of closing of the stomata. So that carbon dioxide is also one of the important factor which influence transpiration activity of the plant cell. Then next important point, that is sprays and dusts. As we know, number of sprays are taken out for the controlling of different diseases, pests, or some minerals which we want to give to our crops. That spray is also taken timely, and these sprays and dusts are accumulated on the leaf surface of the plant. So these accumulated dust or sprays are also affecting the transpiration. Okay, because on the leaves it permanently close the cuticle, and because of that also transpiration activity is decreases. Next, internal factors. Okay, these the factors which we now discussed, that are some external factors. Now we'll discuss about the internal factors. Internal water condition. Okay, first one. Now internal water conditions, in which, as we know, for the transpiration it is much necessary, or it is required, that the amount of water, adequate amount of water, or the excess of water which should be present in the plant body. Okay, plant cell. Deficiency of the water results in the decrease of transpiration automatically or naturally. So here internal water conditions are also an important factor regarding activity of transpiration. If there is no enough water, then what will happen? Nothing is going to happen. So that this is also one of the important factor. Then structural features. Now this structural features means what? Here mainly the structure of stomata. Structure of stomata, because the number of stomata which are present on the upper side or lower side of the leaf, then number of stomatas, then activity of opening and closing of the stomata, all this comes under these structural features. So all these are also playing an important role in the transpiration. Then root shoot ratio. Now this root shoot ratio is also in some standard format. Otherwise, the transpiration activity is affected. How it is standard format means efficiency of absorbing surface, that is root surface, and evaporation surface, that is leaf surface, both are controlling the rate of transpiration. Okay, how it is? Because the adequate water which is required for the plant body, all metabolic activities is provided by the roots, while by the means of transpiration, this what excess water is got lost from the plant, so that these both are balancing the transpiration, so that this ratio is also important. If absorbing water is less or deficient, then the transpiration rate is affected. And last, the internal factor, that is disease. Rate of transpiration increases in diseased plants than healthy plants. So these are the some important internal factors which are affecting the rate of transpiration or transpiration activity. Moving on to the next slide, that is water use efficiency. Now, first of all, we'll discuss about what is water use efficiency. So it is the amount of dry matter produced per unit amount of water transpired. Means what? How much water is got absorbed by the plant, out of which the amount of water used to produce dry matter. Okay, this is your water use efficiency, means how plant is efficient to use the water. It can be calculated on the basis of water amount used to produce and dry matter per kg of water. This is your water use efficiency, and it can be calculated by the formula dry matter produced divided by evaporation. Okay, transpiration in relation to productivity given by the scientist, that is Pashora. And also we are able to calculate the grain yield by multiplying total transpiration by crop canopy into transpiration efficiency or water use efficiency into harvest index. Okay, this harvest index is different for the different crop, but here importantly water use efficiency, that is the amount of water transpired by the plant for production of per unit dry matter. And dry matter means what? The leaves, whatever parts are there to that particular plant or crop, that can be taken as a dry matter. Okay, water use efficiency expressed as gram dry matter per kg of water. Okay, that is how much water is used by that plant to produce dry matter. That can be used for economic yield as well as total dry matter calculations. And the next point, that is factors influencing water use efficiency. Okay, before that, one more slide we have. Okay, so before that, here, as the water use efficiency increases of the plant, the dry matter produced is also increases. So here the examples are given, and as we know, C3, C4 and CAM plants. Okay, these are the classification of the plants, and in which the C3 plants are comparatively less water use efficient than C4, while CAM plants are having highest water use efficiency as compared to the C3 and C4 plant. These C3, C4 and CAM plants we will discuss in our next lectures. Okay, it's quite deeper. So for now, just remember that water use efficiency of the CAM plants is highest, and water use efficiency of the C3 plant is lowest as compared to the C4 and CAM plants. CAM is nothing but the crassulacean acid metabolism. Okay. And the last point, that is factors influencing water use efficiency, in which before that here is potato. Okay, the first example is potato, which is C3 plant, which is producing 1.88 gram dry matter per kg of water, while pineapple, that is CAM plant, which producing 20 gram dry matter per kg of water. So this is the big difference of C3 and CAM plants. In the factors influencing water use efficiency, so first one is climatic factors. Now, climatic factors means what? Water use efficiency is inversely proportional or related to the relative humidity. Okay, when the humidity is higher, water use efficiency is lower, and like that. Then sunlight and temperature affect the evapotranspiration, photosynthesis, and dry matter production. Means the standard stable sunlight is also one of the necessary thing for water use efficiency. Then agronomic practices and management, in which first of all crop competition for water, light, and nutrients. Okay, then second, crop should have optimum crop canopy for proper light interception. Means what? The canopy, that is the space between two plants, it should be required or as per the requirement. If it's not there, that is also affecting the water use efficiency. Then plant population, which also influences the water use efficiency. Then anti-transpirants. Now anti-transpirants means what? Some substances are there which, if we are using it on the leaf surface of the plant, it affects the transpiration. Even some anti-transpirants are there which stops the process of transpiration, in which examples are there, that is they close the stomata when we apply on the leaves, in which 2,4-D, abscisic acid, then hexadecanol, waxes, some kaolin are also there. These are the some anti-transpirants, out of which some are closure, stomata closing type, some are film forming type. Okay, then the next one is use of mulches. Now mulches, as we know, so many types of mulches are there, in which we use the plastic papers, sometimes we use agricultural waste to cover the soil. Okay, in which because of the temperature, the loss of water is there, that is evapotranspiration is there, which can be reduced. And if evapotranspiration is reduced, the water use efficiency is naturally got increases. Okay, then use of shelter beds. Now what is meant by this shelter beds? So the shelter beds are nothing but the type of plants which are cultivated at the wind side, okay, or from where these winds are coming, and that can be called as a shelter belts, which decreases the damaging effect of the wind on crops and microclimate. So because of that also water use efficiency is affected. Then higher humidity and lower vapor pressure deficient the prevail in shelter belt, that reduce the heat. This help in the higher water use efficiency. Okay, so all those things which are harmful to the soil water, okay, if we are controlling that, then the water use efficiency is naturally increases, and these shelter belts are doing the same thing. Okay, then the next important point is, that is fertilizer applications. Sorry, before that, method and amount of water application. Means how much water or adequate water we are providing or not. Then if we are providing less amount but frequently, that is also good to increase the water use efficiency. And if we are giving in very high amount but difference is much higher, at that time also the water use efficiency is got affected of the particular crop. Then the next point is there, that is fertilizer application. Okay, fertilizer application, if we are giving the fertilizer application, at that time water use efficiency is getting increased. Then next important point, that is weed control. Okay, as we know, weeds are the unnecessary plantlets which are grown in main crop, and they are having quite strong root, healthy roots, so that they are absorbing lot of water, and they are also one of the resistant factor to absorb the root by the to absorb the water by main crop. Okay, that's why also water use efficiency is affected. Okay, so these are the some factors which are influencing water use efficiency of the crops, and we are able to manage by doing some agroclimatic factors, agroclimatic activities. So the water use efficiency can be increased by the of our plants. Okay, so we will stop here today. In the next lecture we'll discuss about guttation, then difference between transpiration and guttation. Thank you.